Mr. Al Sears. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here with Tony Perkins, who does such an excellent job of hosting this event and bringing us all together. With Dr. James Johnson, one of the leaders whose vision became the Alliance Defense Fund, with the other co-sponsors, and with our legal allies who are here in attendance this afternoon. Because my time is very limited, I hope many of you will be joining us tomorrow for the Alliance Defense Fund breakfast and at the various breakout sessions. You'll hear how our alliance is confronting and winning cases on many of the nation-shaping legal issues of our time. Cases from constitutional freedom of churches to speak out on public issues without fear of losing their tax-exempt status, to the battle for religious liberty at our nation's public university campuses, and many other hot issues. But this afternoon, it's a particular pleasure for me to spend time with you, friends, those who share our deepest convictions, our cherished dreams, our most basic concerns for what's going on in the world today. And it's a joy for me to share with you the simple satisfaction of knowing in many areas, knowing that our critics were wrong. Wrong when they told us it was all over, that we could not win, that it was too late to do anything to reclaim America's Judeo-Christian heritage, that it was too late to stop runaway judges from redefining marriage and the family, that it was too late to restore justice in our runaway courts, and that it was too late to protect our history and heritage and the religious liberties that so many are determined to erase from our culture and our Constitution. Well, as we've learned, by God's grace, on many fronts, it was not too late. Working together as legal ministries, as policy groups, as churches and nonprofits, and religious organizations, each in our respective roles, we've found that time and time again, on issue after issue and case after case, we can and we do win. If we pray, if we prepare, if we dare to show up, to stand and speak the truth, and if we persevere, we can win and we will continue to win. This afternoon, I want to specifically show you an example of what winning looks like. On the screen, you'll see Emily Brucker. 5 years ago, Emily enrolled at Missouri State University, where her love and concern for others had led her to major in social work. Like most of her young peers, she wasn't prepared for the sometimes harsh realities of life in the academic realms. Realms dominated these days by the power and philosophy of what some call the secular progressives. I think we more accurately call them the secular aggressives. Well, Emily didn't know what to do or who to call when in her first semester, the teacher gave her class an outrageous assignment. They were told to go out, display homosexual behavior in public, and then write about the experience. Emily was stunned. Her next good grade in a class for ordination hinged on her ability to act out such sexual behavior and then put that pretense into words. Can you imagine? Some of her other classmates were doing it. They expect us to go along, do it. But Emily didn't want to. She just couldn't bring herself to feign the lesbian behavior. So instead, she turned the project into a free writing assignment. She made up an experience, made up an reaction to people who supposedly watched her, and turned in a report. She got her grade, and the professor was none the wiser. But the whole thing left her feeling embarrassed. The compromise that she had made nagged at her conscience. She wished that she'd been braver about her faith. Then in the fall of her senior year, came yet another unbelievable assignment. This time, the professor write letters to the Missouri legislature encouraging lawmakers to recognize adoption by same-sex couples. Emily didn't want to do that. This assignment, like the boy acting one before, ran hard against her conscience. But this time, she decided there wouldn't be any compromises. This time, Emily said no. She declined to do the assignment, and she quietly explained her reasons for her professor. She respectfully asked her alternative assignment. Her request, to say the least, wasn't always seen. Emily's professor stormed out of the class and ensured that they filed a level 3 grievance against her. That's the stiffest charge that a faculty member can make against a student. Being charged with level 3 grievance at Missouri State means that you can appear alone, no parents, no lawyers, before a departmental ethics committee. If the committee agreed with their fellow professor's accusation, they can do a lot more than give her a bad grade, or even flunk her out of that class. They can hold her diploma and keep her from graduating. Just like that, her 4 long years of effort would be needed. Alone and outnumbered, Emily quickly discovered that the ethics committee hearing was little more than a star chamber, where for 2.5 hours the faculty grilled her with taunting questions. They mocked her Christian beliefs. They bullied this young girl and poured out contempt on her. She was a student, and they were the ethics committee, and all she had to do was set dates as long as they wanted her to dish it out. But you know, they made a mistake in responding so cruelly to Emily's respectful request. For as young as she was, as intimidated as she was, as outnumbered as she was, Emily had had enough. She left the Inquisition. The grace of God, those three professors never knew what hit them. One of the ADF senior lawyers and director of the ADF Center for Academic Freedom jumped on the case. And I should mention David's here to be speaking at the ADF session tomorrow for students. David sued the school in federal district court and faster than its PA then changed dramatically at Missouri State. The administrators of that school quickly learned that the ADF and the allied medical team that was representing were the same ADF that had already successfully sued 30 other public colleges and universities across the country. Becoming the latest college ordered by a federal court to cease and desist. Instead, the school settled with Emily and landed on its own social work department like the Marines at Iwo Jima. The professor who filed the complaint was placed on academic leave pending an outside investigation of the department. And that investigation brought back a scathing report calling the department a professors who are willing to discourage, particularly those with religious beliefs. In fact, the reports that problems in the department were so bad that the university might need to expand the entire department and rebuild the social work from scratch. They restored her to full academic standing, and they offered to pay for 2 years of graduate school at any university in the state. Honorable response. Missouri. In the light of her case, one house of the Missouri legislature has now passed the Emily Brugger Intellectual Diversity Act, calling for genuine self-examination at colleges throughout the state. And just last week, the university created a website for students treated improperly to file complaints. It's impacted many other colleges across America, prompted them to reconsider the ways in which they're bullying their own students. Emily's case illustrates why we have to show up, and that when we show up and we fight, we can win. Those who crush our convictions and silence public faith expression in America will win. I want you to look at Emily's face again. That's the face of a new generation. A generation that counts many of you in this audience this afternoon. A generation willing to stand, to fight for the deepest beliefs of its soul. A generation willing to risk everything for the truths that built this nation and civilized our world. And if you had the opportunity, wouldn't you like to thank Emily personally for standing at Missouri State and for setting such an example of courage, tenacity, and unwavering faith? Well, we have that opportunity. You know, the hostile environment that Emily experienced at her university is just another example of the paranoid atmosphere that radical secularists like the ACLU and their allies have created in our country. A climate of fear, intimidation, and disinformation. That climate is contaminating every aspect of our culture, from our schools to our churches, to the most basic sacred institutions of our society, including marriage and family. I encourage you to hear about the Wikipedia workshop at 3:15 tomorrow to be able in person and deal with this issue. Our critics told us we couldn't win. Well, you know, even many of ADF's friends warned us to protect our reputation and told us to stay clear of the marriage battle. They said it was hopeless, that the culture was too far gone, and that those pressing the relentless radical demands of the homosexual legal agenda already had too far a solid foothold on the courts, or that they were too powerful an influence on activist judges who sit on many state and federal benches. Well, you know, despite the critics and the counsel of those well-meaning friends, ADF had to do what we were created to do. We had to fight for marriage, try to stop the courts from redefining, even abolishing marriage as the union of one man and one woman. And we're so thankful that we did. ADF lawyers were able to stop the runaway mayor of San Francisco, who was handing out so-called marriage licenses like candy on Valentine's Day, when we obtained a Supreme Court order stopping the weddings and eventually nullifying the 4,000 so-called same-sex marriages. Lawyers have now played various roles in litigating 37 cases on marriage issues. Cases where radical activists wanted to use the courts to redefine, or to bypass, or to stop, or to overturn the will of the voters and or their legislators. So far, 34 cases have been finally decided. And of those 34, 31 have been slam dunk victories. Thanks be to God. Thanks to all our allies and friends who fought so hard to join us on those issues. Well, unfortunately, time restrictions this afternoon keep me from sharing even a fraction of that which God is doing through the ministry of ADF and our allies. So as I mentioned before, I hope you can attend our breakfast tomorrow in the breakout sessions to learn more of what's being done. I want to close by this. I want to promise you this, that when it comes to standing for truth, and that's truth with a capital T, the work comes for the truth of the sanctity of human life, for the truth of the gospel of marriage, ADF will be there fighting with every resource, with every ounce of energy God provides, to defend the workers of the world, to defend the human God, and to protect our most precious of all religious freedom. God's grace of all present this weekend. May we find pleasure in our unity, in our integrity, and ultimately in the victories that He and He alone gives us for His glory. I want to thank you for your kind attention, for your prayers and support, and God bless you. God bless America.